Hello everyone, this is I'm Possible Terrence over here doing a market update coming from I'm Possible Investors. Now, so what I want to bring to your attention right now is we've got what we've been waiting for, all right? But is there more to come right now? Okay, so we have been talking about how some of the biggest investors, biggest fund managers out there are talking about market overvaluation, all right? And a correction is near, a correction is about to come. Right now, but what's happening right now is everything led on to this stock called GameStop. Okay, now GameStop, or the hashtag right now, which is GameStonk over here, has probably put in a possible or potential market top, right? Because we all know for a market top to happen, crazy things must be seen in the stock market. Right, and it all started with GameStop over here, and it followed by BlackBerry, it followed by a lot of other retail stocks, simply because the market makers, sorry, not the market makers, but the professional traders, right, who are trading on algorithms and trying to get themselves ahead of retail investors and retail orders when they're trading. Okay, what they're doing right now is they're moving into retailers, right? Like GameStop has started the trend, okay, but instead of trying to push GameStop a single stock, they went ahead and pushed the entire retail ETF itself. And once the retail ETF was being pushed, right, there is no other way but to also push all the other stocks that is associated with this retail ETF. So while all of you are recently thinking, all right, Terence, what's all this stock, all these retail stocks like, what is it, BBY and stuff like that, or no, BBBY, Bed Bath and Beyond, right? Why are these stocks over here like shooting upwards? Right, together with many other retails that you probably don't pay attention to prior to GameStop itself. Right, it is all GameStop. Okay, everything leads back to one. Okay, now so if you have missed out over here, don't chase it anymore because it's up crazily over here. It went from like $30 before everything started, and it was $300 at a high yesterday. I'm not sure if it actually went even higher than that. But what I want to point to your attention right now is this: we had a sign of correlation happening in the markets. And correlation was what I said, all right, we need to see when there is a significant move on the downside. Okay, now if all of you see on my screen right now, I have a visualizer from TD Ameritrade. Okay, and all I did was to pull out the movements of the S&P 500. And what you see right now is we have 428 declining stock. Right, this is still not full correlation yet. All right, we had about 90% correlation of all the index stocks, all right, in the market fall yesterday. Okay, is there more to come? All right, what is in store right now tomorrow? It's going to be even more exciting. Okay, but let me move ahead right now and show all of you why I do think that we have a lot more in store. Now, so we finally had that 100-point drop day in the S&P 500. That's about a 2.6% drop over here. All right, we also had the Russell drop by about 1.8%. Right, but what's not nothing short of stellar over here, all right, is the VIX. The VIX has finally shot off the gate. All right, the VIX went up by 60%, everyone. All right, 60% in a single day. We haven't seen this in a long time. All right, now this signifies that the professionals are out there hedging their positions. All right, and fear is now coming into the markets. All right, we saw bits and pieces of it. All right, but this is definitely much more severe. Okay, now, so on top of that over here, everything in the marketplace points towards the downside. All right, and if you look at yesterday's trading over here, let me pull to yesterday's trading first. All right, what we saw over here was this. All right, we had a break out of the gate over here when the market opened. Okay, all right, now, and what happened was it went all the way down. It hit what we call the expected move over here from the marketplace for this entire week, all right, which is around 3765 levels. All right, it touched that over here, it caused a bounce, right, because that was the expectation move. And that's where a lot of these professional investors and traders, right, their hedge are all there. All right, so it's nothing special where we see a bounce over here. It came back and tested. We saw a second bounce, right, but you could see that it's getting weaker over here. Yeah, all right, it's getting weaker over here. All right, now, and so did the divergence on the indicators, which signifies that. All right, and of course we have that pouring down over here, right, immediately after. So the moment it cracked the 3765 levels, it just went to a low, all right, on our close over here. All right, and if you did pay attention to the futures, right, it got even lower than this. Yeah, all right, it was even lower than this. So it's going to be a very exciting next few days towards the end of the week in stock. Right now, just looking at some potential levels, we just cracked the 3765. So definitely we have that short-term bearish sign over here. The next support level will be at 3730, right? Where I did mention to some of my graduates where we had S&P trading in a box before it had a breakout back in December, right? Before the year ended, all right? And then it tested this new support after it broke out, all right? And then we had that surge from there ever since then. Okay, so now that we are back here, okay, if it does crack below today when market opens, right, it could trade all the way to the bottom of this, which is 3638, all right, 3638, and that's about another 100 over points down on the downside. Now, and if that gives way as well, all right, it could be testing the next support, which is at 3550, all right, 3550, right, and you know, we could go all the way back to like the September and October bottom, right, where we had this double bottom formation over here, and that would be all the way back to 3250, everyone, all right, no, not the Nokia phone, but 3250, right, and that means, all right, we could see anywhere from another 100 points drop before a bounce, okay, or even after a dead cat bounce, usually after a very severe sell-off, because we have the initial still bullish bargain hunters trying to come into the market and thinking that they can pick up some bargains over here. Right now, if you're really trying to think of picking up some bargains, right, I really do think that this is not the time yet. Okay, because if the sellers have just come in and it sparked fear into everyone right now, you might just end up being too early. Yeah, all right. Sometimes it's much better to be later, all right, to have more vindication rather than to jump ahead and you know be like what many people say over here, catch the falling knife. Right? Because if this knife falls over here, it could fall all the way to the low of 3250. And that's another 500 points drop over here, which means we could be seeing that 5 to 10% market correction, all right, with this play over here. Right now, on top of that, let's go on a longer time frame and see how things look right now. So if you go onto a longer time frame, this is the S&P 500 chart. Now, why I do think that what we have right now in the markets, all right, may spark the next sell-off is because we have this higher high on the S&P 500, but we actually have this divergence. Right, this divergence that is happening on the RSI indicator, right? We also start to see it on the stochastics where we have the cut back down. If it can break below this overbought levels, right, that will open another set of floodgates. And the MACD, right, today is going to be very, very important, right? If today is another down day, it could cause the MACD over here, right, to cross below, right, and that will give the professional traders, right, a cause for concern, all right, and start thinking very, very seriously. Okay, now another thing that you really want to pay attention to is also this. We have, you know, yesterday in the surge of the, how do I say this, volatility index, right? So the volatility index is also what we call traded futures. Yeah, okay, so it's also a traded futures over here. And you'll be amazed to see that we start to have this thing on the futures called the backwardation. Right, so we all know that if you think of it simply, future pricing should always include inflation, which means future pricing should always be something that's higher than right now. Okay, but what you're seeing right now on the futures, okay, is that the longer dated futures on the VIX over here, right, it's actually much lower. All right, can you see over here? Right, it's getting lower and lower as compared to the risk right now. Right, so that's what we call backwardation, which means, all right, that market is starting to price in, right, a downside in the entire market, right, because the VIX right now is more expensive, right, than 30 days or 60 days from now. Okay, so that means that the traders in the market are starting to feel the pressure right now. Yeah, okay, so you got to really be very careful because you start to see a lot of the technology counters also crack, right, because we had what we call it over here, we have some big earnings, right, and that could really cause the next wave in the market today. We have Apple, which announced after markets, and you can see it closed at 142, right? And right now, it is at a bid and ask of about 137, right? So it seems like market didn't like the earnings results, but everything will have to wait till tomorrow market open again. All right, sorry, tonight's market open at 10:30 p.m. in Singapore time, right? And apart from that, we have Apple, we have Facebook as well, which closed at 272. Okay, let me bring it back to the daily so you could see what happened. Right, it's a down day for Facebook over here, right? And look at the market close. Post market is between 266 and 267, so that also points towards another drop on Facebook earnings. So they probably didn't like the earnings as well, right? But the big gun, all right, the big gun and the latest gun in the market right now, the latest bazooka, All right, it's none other than Tesla, of course. All right, so it's part of the S&P 500 component right now, and so it also causes index push. Now, so what we can see right now is it closed at 864, all right, and right now the post market is already down to 820, everyone, 820. And I've talked about this many times in my posts, in my videos as well, right? Tesla has been pushing the markets. So if it has been pushing the markets, right, that means if it's gonna have right now it's about a $45 drop on market open tomorrow. Yeah, okay, now that is about another 4% or 5% drop in Tesla. Right, think of the effect that it's gonna have on the entire S&P 500. So we have Tesla, we have Facebook, we have Apple. Right, if we combine all of them together, we have about $2.5 trillion of market cap. Right, that it's gonna point towards a downside opening in tonight's US trading. And on top of that, I have a list right here which also tells me, right, today was a very big day in earnings as well, because we have other big companies like MasterCard, right, which is also releasing earnings. Right, we have Dow Chemicals, we have Pote Homes, right, we have T-Rowe and Price. Okay, we have Tractor Supply, which is another one of the hot stock during this pandemic period that has been pushed up really high. We have Whirlpool, and we have also Las Vegas Sands, and we have also New Corp. All right, now, so you see all this, if all these counters were to open negative from its earnings over here, right, it could spark more fear to flood into the market, and it could open up the floodgates over here. Right, who cares about GameStop right now? Right, this is not a stock that you can play, so don't put too much attention on it, because any opportunity to get in is already gone. Right, and what's going to happen right now is definitely going to spark some SEC regulation to kick in, and perhaps some investigation to follow on. Right, and when this actually comes around, right, all retail investors will be hurt. Right, so if you're not in, you're not out on GameStop with any profits at all, this is probably not the time that you want to get into this. All right, now, so this is my market update over here for today is the 28th of January, right? And I'm really excited to see what's in store over here because prior to this market sell-off, all right, together with my members over here at Impossible Investors, we have been positioning on some puts on the QQQ index after the Nasdaq spike that we have last week. Right, we also took up some combination trades on the volatility index, so all those have worked really well as well. We also have some bullish trades over here on all the defensive stocks, right? Namely, the staple food companies. Like we had trades on GIS, we had trade on Hormel Foods, we had trades on Kellogg's, we had trades on Conagra, right? And all this were beneficiaries of this market sell-off. Right now, so people say it's difficult to make money when markets has turned, right, or initially when the down wave comes, all right, but it's not necessarily so, right, because if you pay attention to fundamentals, right, and you combine them with what the risk is trying to show you in the market technicals right now, right, you could actually formulate a very big picture that could help you in your trading, right, and generation of profits. Now, this is my market updates over here, and you know, if we do get another slam down in the markets, I may do another one before the week ends, but this is definitely really exciting over here. Yeah, all right, now, so this is Terrence Tan from Impossible Investors signing off over here, and I look forward to seeing you in my next market update video. All right, I hope you appreciate this, and if you do enjoy this over here and you like it, click on the subscribe button to my YouTube channel, okay, to not miss out on any updates or my next market update post on YouTube itself. And you can help me by clicking on the subscribe button as well, and leave a comment. Yeah, all right, leave a comment on what do you think is the market sell-off today. What's your views? Yeah, all right, now thank you very much once again. I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.